Hello everyone, how are you? Is everybody hearing me well? Can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Then we have a good start. Yes, everybody's here all around the world. I'm so glad tonight. It's a special moment and fantastic. So, what's happening tonight? Tonight I'm going to introduce you to the release of my new book, and here it is on the side. That's my new book. We Will Never Let You Down, and there's a foreword. Well, four pages from wonderful Laura Eisenhower, and plenty of goodies in it. You'll see a little input from Dr. Sala. So here we go. 7th of September 2021. I never realized the whole meaning of the word, the expression releasing a book. I mean, it's releasing, it's just, I'm exhausted. For nearly a year, I've been working so hard, night and day, and especially nights, to share with you and to offer to you another gift. What is this gift? Well, this book comes just after. Checking with Steffi, is everything good? Yes. This book comes just after this one. So I wrote this one, who came out in September 2020, and since then, was it that September 2020? Yeah, incredible. I thought it was anyway, maybe before. Since this book, since I've written it in 4 months, like super speed. It was published first week of September 2020, so it's just a year, just one cycle. So We Will Never Let You Down. What is it about? It is about everything that happened to me since A Gift from the Stars was released. And a lot happened to me, and a lot happened for the world and the planet. And it has been such an adventure. It's not over, but I needed a stage to just put a closure to this book and just share it with you, because the adventures were piling and piling and piling. And so tonight I'm going to tell you about it. If you want to order it, there is a link in the description of this video, and I can put also I have a banner here with the link, so I can keep this link here. So I'm going to introduce you to this story. And how the best way I found is to go with you through the introduction of this book, through the drawings. All of this. That's all the drawings that are in it. Oh my God! You are going to see it inside of the Thor Han space station. You're going to see in the ship. You're going to see Venus, Jupiter, plenty of things. Oh my gosh. Should we start? So everything is in the book. So how did this book came about? I published A Gift from the Star in September 2020. 1st of September or 7th of September, if I'm right, day for day. And contact were really intense with Thor Han, Myra, Anax, and I want to especially thank one of my friends, Vince Bocanfuso, who told me, you should try to get Valiant Thor in contact. Ask Thor Han. And I went, wow, Vince, that's such a great idea. I'm going to ask Thor Han. And Thor Han said, oh, I don't know him personally. He's on Venus, and I no contact with him. Venus is just next door. It's just like for them. But he said, well, I can chance. I'm going to put a request out. And so the request was put out. And I mean, for 2 months, it was like, it was in October, and 2 months, it was like, no news. And Thor Han told me, you know what? Just give up, because he said, I've heard Val Thor doesn't want to talk to people, to Terrans. He's just done with them. Oh, really? Oops. And he said, but we never know. On December 5th, 2020, so this is Val Thor on the cover of the book. You see here on the cover of this book, this is Val Thor. That's him, and Venus in the background behind him. And so September 5th, 2020, I got a message from Thor Han, and he said, hey, you know what? Guess what? Want to come up? He said, I've got a surprise for you. And I went, oh my God. So, okay, I got ready, and he pinned me up. And when I arrived on the station, in the beam room, in one of the beam pods on the station, was Thor Han and these 2 guys. So here is a drawing. So that's all drawings that are in the book. Thor Han and these 2 guys. So you see, you recognize Thor Han. And this was Val Thor and his brother Don. That's Val Thor. So here we go. So these 2 guys were there, and I was totally smitten, because Val Thor had such an aura. And I've noticed when they are promoted to the grade of commander, and even in the hierarchy, their aura changes, their power increases. It's absolutely amazing. I've met other commanders, and it's the same. They have such an aura that is very intimidating. Not mentioning Ardana, High Commander Ardana, who leads everyone on the battle station. I mean, her aura is just magnificent. We're going to talk about her later. So, and Thor Han as well, becoming commander, has also changed our aura. Then what happened? Well, we went for a chat. And on the station, and we sat in this place. So here we go. So this is me, and Thor Han, and Val Thor, and his brother. So we had a chat, and I started to ask him about his time in the Pentagon, and everything related to the Greada Treaty, and he answered to me all these questions. And there was a moment when I totally felt like overwhelmed, and I just cracked up, and I said, but can you give people signs and proofs that you are here, and that you're working for us? So Val Thor is part of the Council of Five. He's affiliated to the assigned to the Council of Five, but he works for the Federation, because they work all together. And Val Thor told me, well, I was very, very shaky, and that's the moment that inspired me to write a book about it, with their consent, of course. That moment when I was totally emotional and Val Thor took my hands and told me this sentence that is the title of the book. We will never let you down. We never had, and we never will. This was a revelation. This was the most powerful thing I've ever heard. The most healing, reassuring thing I've ever heard before. And he told me also this thing that became a very famous sentence. He told me that day, well, that night, we cannot liberate a slave who holds on to his chains. Meaning, we need to do our part of the work in the ground, on the ground, here. So all of this conversation is in the book. And then I was invited on Venus. So 3 weeks later, just a day following the New Year's Eve, I was invited on Venus. I beamed up on Thor Han ship. And Thor Han command ship is a bit different. It's not a flying saucer. It's a ship. Oops! Sorry, I broke your ears. It's a ship like this. It's the Thor hammer was a ship. That's it. That's the shape of the ship. So we went to Venus, and so Venus is. I describe a lot about Venus in this book. We went very, very slowly. No, he didn't allow me to drive this time. We went very slowly because he wanted me to enjoy leaving Earth and passing by the sun and just a loop and go back turn towards Venus. It was a magnificent trip. Too short. And we arrived on Venus. So Venus looks like, depending on the light, like brown copy of Earth, which is like clouds. It's totally clouds. It's brown with purple and blue shades. But that's the clouds. That's not the ground. The ground is calcinated, just dark and brown, and it's very dark and underneath on the surface of Venus, even on the light side. You know why? Because of the clouds. It's heavy and it's sulfuric acid, so that the light bounces off it, and the few rays of sun who manage to go through the atmosphere of Venus are captured there, because if they manage to go through, if there's a lighter cloud area or bit holes, not really, but lighter, thinner, and the light can go through the sunlight, it is then trapped, and it's the greenhouse effect, and it bounces under the clouds, and it becomes hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. So that's Venus for you. It's not the tropical paradise you've been told it is. So no life form can strive on the surface of Venus. Only no carbon-based life forms, only acidic life forms who can strive in the clouds, actually. But they're really primitive life forms. So we went, everything is underground. Underground, I explained who lives there underground. There's so many different races, and so that's another drawing. That's the entrance of an underground base. You see a top of a dome, so you enter it in this half crater. It's a crater that is halved. So you go inside and this tunnel, and you arrive in underground city. There are plenty of them. this underground city is, I don't know if you see well here. Here we go. There was a valley with a town, and it's all underground, and the sky is artificial. It's a biodome. The sun, they have a fake sun, which is a frill generator, which works with antimatter, and powered by antimatter. And the fake clouds, it's like you're not underground. It's like you are like under real sky, but it's not. It's very impressive. And so we went there. There were soldiers, guards who were waiting for us, and they took us in anti-gravity car. So I love the uniform of the Venusian guards. They have this kind of helmet who looks like a Greek helmet. It's very interesting. It's very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. Another one. Okay, so about that. It's in the book. And we have been taken to Val Thor's mansion. So Anax was with us. Anax was with us at that time. And so Val Thor received us, and it was quite a beautiful mansion. And so you see Anax. That's Thor Han. That's me, and Val Thor here. So Anax always cool. So we were having a conversation, and he gave me all the details, then more details about the Greada Treaty and the way the Galactic Federation and the Council of Five are involved in the affairs of Earth. I'm going to finish my story about Venus, and then I'll take questions. So I was a bit sick there because of the difference of gravity and pressure. And I was given, I met Val Thor's daughter, one of his daughters. He has 2 daughters, 2 sons. That's the only child I met. This is Armani. She brought me a drink that stabilized my molecular structure and adapted me to the gravity and the pressure there, so I could stay for a while. I met also Val Thor's wife. She is wonderful, beautiful, of such a brilliant intelligence. This is Gillian. This is his wife. Isn't she gorgeous? She is absolutely magnificent person. I had a lot of conversations with her, and from the terrace where I went with her, there was in the background, we could see the town, and there was a weird building, and on the building I could notice there was this Egyptian sign, the Ankh, and I said, what's that? And she said, oh, that's a generator, and there's a generator, the pyramid, and then it's the Frill temple. So it's a school, it's a spiritual center, and it's linked with the generator. It's like a temple. So then we start talking about spirituality. So the Venusians are very much into spirituality, the source, the connection to the energy, the Frill. They are a lot about life force, the force, like the Jedis and stuff. We cleared confusions about Christianity. The Venusians are absolutely not in any religions of Earth whatsoever. These ones are Tal. Actually, Gillian is a hybrid between Tal and Sirius B. So she looks a bit like Myra, but she's more human-like. This is another picture of her when I went for a second time, and we were invited in the gardens. So that's Gillian. That's Gillian. Oops, why is she? Is she here? So you see the similarities with Myra. A bit a triangular face and big eyes, but she looks more. You saw the profile. She looks more human than Syrian. So that's Gillian, and another. The second time, Thor Han allowed me to drive the ship, but he had secured the route, so that was funny. You have all the adventures with the near to crash on Mars and everything. It's all in the book. That's another drawing of us, Thor Han and I, on Venus in Val Thor's house with Gillian and himself talking. There we go. So, we spoke a lot about Eisenhower, of course, about everything that happened, and he told me about the races that were there, meeting Eisenhower and his administrations, which races it was. He spoke about all the programs he started secretly with the US Navy and the Pentagon to build our own defense fleet against the Nebu. So all of this is explained. This is a lovely portrait I did of Laura and her great-granddad. I sent her, she was delighted. So who are these aliens who met with Eisenhower and his administration? So this is the first good group from the Federation. So there were more than this, but that's to represent the race. Okay. So you have here an Ahel officer, an Ummit officer. This is an Emerther. They're all officers. Emerther from Toseti. So Erahel from Taygeta, from Era. Ummit from Wolf 424. Emerther from Toseti. And these two are Silozi from Alpha Centauri. They sent the Silozi, the Alpha Centauri people first because they looked more like us. And the Alpha Centauri people, the Silozi and the Metons, they were here as well. They started working. Some stayed there to start working with the military on Solar World, and later, on giving us technology and building our defense force that became a few decades later the Earth Alliance. So that's the good group. And the bad group, so the bad groups, of course, there were the MJ-12 made agreements with the Dark Fleet, but these are the aliens who came in 1955. Three different groups. You have here Dohu and the Xorog. The Dohu and the Xorog are from Zeta Reticuli. They are different races, and that's an Eban from Betelgeuse. Zeta Reticuli, Dohu and Xorog. Dohu are very, very, very altered genetically, very, very altered by the Eban. And Xorog, you can see with the Xorog, it's you recognize Bob, Skinny Bob. Skinny Bob was a Xorog. And or Shant Bahali is the same. It's the Nebu, part of the Nebu, the domain. The Eban from Betelgeuse are pure assholes. They have a nose. Yeah, they have a big nose. In my book, A Gift from the Stars, there's an Eban drawn, but you can't really see the nose because it's more flat. It's flat and large. It's not big. So profile you don't see really well, and I drew this one from facing, and you can see better. the Eban are really, really bad. Really bad. They are the worst in the Nebu. They are the worst. So here we go for the Venus and Val Thor and everything. So I'm going to have a glass of water and read your questions. Where? Oh yes. My 3D glasses. So, yes, I did the drawings. It's my drawings. Now, is there any questions about Venus or Val Thor, things like this? Yes, Val Thor is beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, I don't see really questions about. Oh, okay, yes, I see one on Val Thor. Where is it? Okay, that's a good question. Hi, Janice. So Janice asks, is Val Thor part of the military helping free Earth? Yes, he is. He's only dealing with high officers, and at a very high level. So yes, he is part of the Earth Alliance, and he was probably there on Jupiter when there were the agreements. Yeah. So yes, he's still working for us, with us, to free us, but undercover, is not contacting anyone. And you know why? Because he's had his content with people using him to write books about him, to promote their religions and stuff like that. He has had enough of that. So he said, now because, these beings, they are very charismatic and they're very interesting and fascinating. So it attracts everyone around, and they are like adored and stuff. And that's the last thing they want, is to be adored, So they are going to withdraw, because they don't want to be adored and used as a model or role model or things like that. They they are going to withdraw. But he's working very, very hard on behalf of the Council of Five, and also in coordination with the Federation. Why the Council of Five? Because Venus is under the circumscription of the Council of Five. The Council of Five manages Venus. You have, each town has a governor, and they are relaying to mothership of the Council of Five on orbit of Venus, and that's where the government is of Venus. It's not on the ground, because Venus, there's no urbanism. There may be tunnels who link the cities together, but there's not a central capital or city. It's not done like that. The center, the political center, it's a mothership in orbit of Venus. So that's where representatives of the Council of Five are. And it's a government of federated cities, with each city as a governor. Val Thor is governor of his own city. So to remove confusions, there's no queen on Venus, no king, there's no royalty. That's legends. So that's to clear up things. Now, I'm going to take another questions about Venus or Val Thor. Greg, hey, yes, that's a great question. Is all the conversation telepathic? No. It's spoken as well. With Thor Han, when we meet, it's spoken. When we communicate, of course, it's telepathic. Val Thor had his way of communicating, which was troubling at the start. It was and spoken language and telepathy. That was really disturbing at the start, because I would hear him with my ears, but in the same time hear the same thing in my head, like an echo. that's the weirdest thing, but I got used to it quite quickly, interestingly, quite quickly. Yeah, that's how he does. And many extraterrestrials do that. Anax does that when I'm physically with him. He speaks, it's mostly telepathy, but he likes to speak spoken language, because for me it's more grounding, um, to have also the spoken language. But they do both, and Val Thor does both simultaneously. That's how he does, and his wife as well. So that's obviously something the Venusians do. They speak telepathy for sure, and doubled with spoken language when they want to, I suppose. So I'm going to take another question. I haven't been made aware that Venus had moons. So that's my answer. So Jane, nice question. Are people from Venus pure love beings? Of course, they are pure love beings, but not only. They are people like us, of flesh and bones. And they are mainly Tal, but you have a colony of Ahel. You have a colony of Seleuci from Alpha Centauri, and Metons as well from Alpha Centauri. You have a big colony of Meton, actually, from Alpha Centauri. They are on Venus since so long that they are really called Venusians. Well, like everyone who's on Venus at the moment, they are really called Venusians, although nobody is originally from Venus. You can't live on it. Venus had life very long time ago, but it hasn't had the time to develop, and because there was kind of wars in the star system, and shit happened, Another questions about that. How long is the trip? It's a very good question. It can be 5 minutes. But 5 minutes is the shortest. What they do, 5 minutes. The first time when Thor Han took me there, it was 20 minutes. It's difficult to evaluate the time, but it went very slowly for me to enjoy the journey. But normally 5 minutes, and they can even teleport there, yeah, that's the answer. Hi, Thomas. Yes, they have animals there in the cities, the underground cities, and I remind you that nothing lives on the surface of Venus. It's all underground cities. But yes, they have animals. Yes. So what kind of animals? They have pets. They do not eat animals, so they do not raise animals for eating, or they are all vegans. All evolved races are, I've noticed. Reptiloids are not. And so all the animals there, yeah. Birds. I've heard birds on Venus and in the city, so they brought birds from their world, of course. Birds. I have. What was funny, I haven't seen them. Maybe I've seen one or two, few, yeah, in the background, but I very properly had the opportunity to see birds. But I know there are birds. I've heard them, and I've seen in the background. Sorry, and I know they have pets. I haven't seen pets, but I know they have pets from their world. So it must be weird animals. So yeah, they have animals. Yeah, alien animals, which are not Venusians. Imported. Yeah. Okay. Oh, how do they welcome you? Yes, that's a good question. Hi, Evelyn. So they go by the protocol of the Galactic Federation, which is the hand on the chest, on the heart chakra, and bending like this. And you don't look down, you look the person in the eyes, hand on the heart chakra, and you make heart contact by the eyes, like this. And with officers, with technicians, with anyone, it's the way we are all equal, heart to heart. And we look at each other. There's no one looking up and the other down. It's equal. We look into the eyes of each other and we put the hand on the heart chakra and we bow. I respect, I honor you, and you honor me. That's the way of, the Tami way of saluting. It's very nice. I like it. And so let's continue now. Then I went on Jupiter. Let's talk about Jupiter. That's gonna blow your mind. I went on Jupiter. So these are drawings, of course, in the book. So that's me in Thor Han ship, the command ship, approaching Jupiter. And so why did I go on Jupiter? Thor Han goes often on Jupiter because he reports to officers, high officers there, and he also he reports the activities of the Galactic Federation to the Ashtar Command, because on Jupiter, in the upper atmosphere, between layers of atmosphere, there is a town, a city, floating city, something extraordinary. It's huge. It's really, really, really huge. And town in it. It's absolutely incredible. And this floating city is the siege of the Ashtar Command in the star system, reminding you that the Ashtar Command are the good guys, the Ashtar Alliance are the bad guys. The Ashtar Command is a mercenary force that helps anyone who wants help to fight against the Nebu, the Orion group. So the Galactic Federation hired them. They have nothing to do with the Galactic Federation, although they are working together with them and following the same rules. And so there's a detachment, there's an outpost of the Ashtar Galactic Command on Jupiter. And this town, this floating city, is like a huge mothership, and it can really take off and go if there's a problem. It's the level of security in it, it's like mental. It's like incredible. There's no safer place than that. As you approach it, even as you approach the orbit of Jupiter, suddenly they make contact and they're going to scan you. They scan the ships that approach, and if you have any implant or they just they stop you, they block you. So I was in the ship with Thor Han, and the ship was stopped from the descending in the atmosphere. And I say, what's happening? And Seladion is an Erahel pilot, part of the crew, Thor Han's crew. Seladion said, Elena has an Egaroth implant, and they want to know everything about it. And that's true. Anax had put in me an implant to protect me, and I'm telling about it in the book. I show a photo of the mark of the implant. And though they detected that, although we were in orbit of Jupiter, it's huge distances, they detected that. So we had to explain, and they scanned me, and I didn't feel anything. I didn't even know I was scanned. And they said, okay, right, it's okay. And we went. The thing is, as you approach, you are in their field of control. Your mind is monitored. Anything you think, it's monitored. And I hated it. There are two strands of telepathy. The thought fields that can interconnect with the thoughts field of another person, and the spoken telepathy, which is a quantum connection, mind to mind. and then you speak to the other person. It's a spoken telepathy. It's very difficult to isolate the spoken telepathy from the thought field and the emotional field. Thought field, emotional field, it's same. It's the thought field, the thought field from the brain and the emotion field from the heart. It's two globes and it's interconnected. So these two, you have to shut them down and to tell them shut up and just use your spoken language telepathy. That's so hard. It's so hard. Anyway, so this is the inside. This is the inside, a view of the inside. So it's, you see the clouds, and it's very dark because the sunlight doesn't go here, doesn't go through. Sunlight doesn't go through. All sorts of people in there. So that's here, you see that's an employee personnel of the Ashtar Command. This one, no, this one. Is a Sirius B, person with a triangular face. They're quite small. There's a drawing here that shows the difference between an Ahil, Tal, and Ashkeru from Sirius B. So you see here, you recognize the Ahel, Tal, and Tashkeru from Sirius B. Tashkeru. And these are the Ashtar Command. Yes, they are the Ashtar Command. Oh my God. So that also removes a myth of the Ashtar officer being like a blondie in a pastel colored pajama. No, it's not. And they are like this. They are small people with triangular faces. And that's them. So here we go. A little bit more about Jupiter. 2 more drawings, and I'm starting reading your questions about Jupiter. The security is so high there that they scan. You're constantly in constant monitoring. They monitor your energy field and your especially your emotional field. Emotions are frequencies, and they try to pick the frequencies of fear and stress and anger also. That means there's someone somewhere who's up to no good, and this will be intervened. So and there are controls there. So there are synthetic androids who just roam the place and just control you all the time also. And this is quite pressure. And this is a drawing I made of myself, Seladion, the Thor Han's pilot, and this one of these androids. Very scary. Here we go. So that's the android. That's Seladion. You know more about him. The android, that's her. She was a security officer. She was very scary. And she just wanted to know about me, and she just spoke by telepathy to Seladion, and he said, "No, it's fine. She just control who you are, because Terrans are not really allowed here." So anyway, know all of the story. That's so. There's not only scary, serious stuff on Jupiter. There's also, it's a whole town, so city, megalopolis. And there are, of course, recreational areas. So this is one. This is a bar. We were waiting for Thor Han with Seladion. So anti-gravity tables and chairs, plasma spheres as lights. That's floats everywhere. You can even move them. It's not hot. It's just static, but you can't burn yourself. You just touch it, and it's like helium balloons. It's going to bounce somewhere else, like That's cool. And it's kind of plasma that's not hot. I no idea what it is. Kind of gas. It's a gas. It's okay, ionized gas or something like that. I don't know. Here we go. So any question? Oh, and that's in this facility that happened the Jupiter agreements. Yes, that's there because they have, because the security there is like mental. The Galactic Federation has a facility there, a place, an area that where they conduct diplomatic meetings. It's for diplomatic encounters with different people who come from everywhere in the galaxy, and that's where the Jupiter agreements of July 14 and 17th were made in this place. Yeah. So here about Jupiter. So now, any questions on this? They don't drink alcohol. Zahira asks, are they enjoying a glass of wine? No, they don't drink alcohol because it's lowering the frequency a lot and it would burn their digestive system. They do not do fermented drinks or alcohol. They don't. That. But they drink something which is ionized liquids and it's makes you fuzzy, like woo, a bit dizzy, a bit not drunk, but let's say tipsy. But it's not lowering your vibration, and it's just making you like high. Oh, that's good. Good question. Oh, I like that. I see plenty of interesting words, so I'm going to read now in order. Sam Brown. Hi, Sam. Hi, Elena. How is the city called in Tamil and English? I don't know. I know the name for city. Shari. No, Shari's world. Shana. Shana. But that means city. I don't think it has a name. They call it the Jupiter outpost. They don't give names to cities like we do on Earth. That I know. Skinny Bob, yes, is supposed to be an emerther or Eben from Serpo. Do you think it's a Zeta? Yes, he's a Zeta. Yeah. No, the emerthers are taller. They are taller. There's a small class of emerters, but the ones who contacted people were in the good group, the first group of the Federation, and they are taller. The Eben are cool, nice people too. I've been told Skinny Bob was a Zeta, so that's what I've been told. So there have been emerthers in contact with the Pentagon and the U.S. Navy and on the good side, and they have been working with the governments, the emerthers. Also, so what struck me, I would believe Skinny Bob was an emerther. Why not? But what I've been told not, it's not. But what confirmed to me, although I never need a confirmation when I'm told something, but the small greys who abducted me were looking like him. They were looking like him, especially the captain of the ship, and they had the same black uniform, glossy, and same body and everything. So I went, no, Skinny Bob is not an emerther. That's right. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Emerters don't look like this. They are, as I say, taller. So that was a good question. The Eben from Serpo. Oh my God, that's so cute. That's so nice. They're lovely. They're really lovely. They work with the Council of Five. Anax has Eben helpers. Oh, I can show you an Eben. Not an Eban. Eban, it's from Betelgeuse. Eben, it's from Serpo. I show you. The difference between a Zeta and an Eben. There we go. That's in A Gift from the Stars. So you see a Zeta. He really looks like Skinny Bob. And an Eben from Serpo. You see the difference? Okay. Closer. Okay. Going for other questions about Jupiter. Eben are cute. Yeah, they are. Will we get to travel to Jupiter in this lifetime? I think so. I think so. You know, things are moving forward very, very quickly. Oh, that's a good question. Do I know the answer for that? Planturk88. Hi, Elena. Do you know when or how these facilities, both based on Venus and Jupiter, were originally constructed? So on Jupiter, it's simple. You can't build anything on the really surface because it's a gaseous planet and there's a core which is so dense. I mean, the gravity there would kill you, flatten you. So there are motherships in the atmosphere, upper layers of atmosphere of Jupiter, because then the pressure gets too much. These motherships were brought by, constructed on, the main one is Sirius B technology, #Galactic Command, and there's other ones of the Federation, I suppose. But so they were constructed quite recently. And then you have Venus. Venus, it's you have traces of an ancient civilizations which went underground. So these facilities have been reused by the new colons, the Meton, Tal, Silosi, Ahel, and they've improved them. So Venus actually is very, very old facilities there, built by an ancient civilization coming from Alpha Centauri, and actually Proxima. And there was a war and people were evacuated, and colonies from Alpha Centauri came back later, the Meton and the Silosi, and retook these facilities of their ancestors and settled there and as colons. And that's so long ago, I don't know the time. It's very, very long time ago. And then the Pleiadians came, the Ahel and the Tal, and the Council of Five, and until to this day. That's the history of Venus. Okay. Sam Brown, last question about Venus. Venus is more interesting than Jupiter. You said that there are no physical life forms on Venus' surface, but I heard there are giant brown bees that can stand heat No, that's not. No, that's not. These are carbon-based animals, so insects, but animals. No, there is no carbon life form on Venus. There are no bees on Venus. Maybe in the underground cities, although bees, I think it's Earth species. It's so they wouldn't have bees on Venus. No, but certainly not on the surface. I mean, I wish I could just transcript to you. We went through a hole in the clouds that was opened, and underneath the sulfuric acid cloud, the ship is it's fine with that, But if we were to be outside, first we couldn't breathe. Imagine we could breathe. We would be totally like acid, like destroyed by acid, like instant, as like instant death. So no, bees can't live in that. Okay. And then you go down on the surface and it's so hot that it's trouble. You can't really see clear because it's all, like the effects of heat. It's like blurry. It's blurry, and you see calcinated peaks. It's very sharp everywhere, calcinated peaks, and it's like or dark or black or dark brown or reddish. It's like not nice. There's no vegetation because to have bees you need trees, well, flowers. I mean, how can you have bees without flowers? Huh? I mean, so no, there is no bees on the surface of Venus. No, nothing. Actually, nothing. Hope it helps. Now I'm going to we move forward because there's so much. So I'm going to go faster. Then there are in this book updates from half an hour left. Updates from about the war, all what's happening in the star system since December 2020. So I've seen ships of the Dark Fleet. Dark Fleet has many different models of ships. They have the black triangles. They have beautiful profiled long ships, all black with or dark gray with beautiful fluorescent lights. They have great designs. Ships, pity they are assholes. And that was actually Pleiadian or Ahel fleet attacking the Dark Fleet. Yeah, I saw that. That was like, interesting, scary moment. I wasn't there. I saw that by the eyes of Thor Han. When we contact, we can see by the eyes of each other. That leads us to Mars. Mars now. I nearly crashed once there on Mars, but that's the story is in there. You discover it, and I was very mortified. Thor Han has good reflexes. What's happening on Mars? On Mars, so I'll tell everything about the Martian resistance. This is the different species who first I'm going to show you on Mars. This is so I'm speaking about how the Galactic Federation has trained the Martian resistance by supplying weapons. Wow, yes, cool drawing, isn't it? Supplying weapons and training them to fight and supplying them ships and everything. So that's the resistance. So that's a local reptilian, Martian. That's how they look like. They're not originally from Mars. They're not related to the Sicars or Naga. They are different species. They have no spirit of conquest. They are nice people, but don't mess with them. That's one of them. I've been shown. So you see the head is more human-like. It's not like a Sicar or a Naga who have kind of a crocodile face, These ones have more flatter face and more human, and you see he has pectorals. So he has like boobies. So that means they reproduce not by egg. So there's by babies. And so that means it's a human species which has reptiloid features. Well, it's kind of these reptiloids are humans. You remember when I did this Q&A about the sex, galactic sex. We discovered that there were species who were reptilians, but were reproducing by not laying eggs by like mammals. So because there were special species that exist and not true reptiloids and mix, That's very interesting. So who's else on Mars? A whole different type of species of insectoids. You have the ant people. That's an ant head. When the ant people, they are, when they stand like that, they are going to attack you. So when they stand up, it's not good. Normally, when they move, they go on all their paws, and they look like spiders. They look like spiders, but they're not spiders. How do I know all that? I've never never met them, and I'm very glad I didn't, because it's all Thor Han who showed me by telepathy the pictures. Database, pictures of database, and that's an ant also species. They're very tall. They are taller than maybe 3 meters high. High. It's very difficult. So questions about Mars. I tell everything about the liberation of Mars in the. So that's an interesting question, Celestial. Why do we have such a collective fear of spiders? Does it have to do with galactic war? I think, that's not these spiders. There are other spiders who are entities, like extraterrestrial, very harmful entities. And these spiders they are like vampire entities, and they haunt us, and we have this knowledge and memory of them. And that's, I think, why when we see one, we go like, ooh, So my take on that. Another question about where were we? Mars. So yes, that's a very good question. Are these insect types that are good? Yes. The insectoids, they are very interesting because they don't have the same ethics and mind as humans, for instance, or even greys or reptilians. They have a different minds. They don't have the notion of doing good or doing bad. It's very. I have. Say hi to Thor Han. He's connecting to me. He says hi, and he's very proud that this book is out. I'm talking about the insectoid, yet He just says hi. The insectoid have a very sorry, very let me speak. Okay, the mantis, for instance, the Achara mantis, mantid, have no notion of doing good or doing bad. They just do stuff, and so the insectoid, they are moved by curiosity, mantids. And it's not the mantids. Mantids who work in the abductions, they come from another galaxy. So that's not the same species as we have on Mars. It's more that ant kind of type people. It's different. I'll show you mantis later because I met one. So they are nice, but don't mess with them, because if you get them angry, and on Mars, the insectoids, they're really nice. They're nice people, but they are aware that they are under occupation of ICC, Dark Fleet, blah, blah, blah. Well, everything is gone now. Mars has been liberated. But so they're going to hate systematically any humans that they're going to encounter. So they're going to attack. And when they are turned on against you, they can rip you into pieces. Like they have these things, this kind of claw thing, it's like, here we go. I don't know if you see it. It's like that rips you into pieces, really rips you into pieces. Like in no time. Yeah, so here we go. I'm going to move on. And so what I've seen on orbit of Jupiter, I've seen a portal, famous portal that was locked on Aldebaran, and that is now neutralized and taken by the Federation. And it's telling all about it. Yeah, Mars has been liberated, as you know. I've done the update with Michael. Mars has been totally liberated, and follow my video with Tony Rodriguez and Michael, and you know about it. And my book speaks about that, how Mars has been liberated. So now, why all of this happened? It's all this war in the star system. It's because the Andromedans, the Zene, have foreseen this seed of the Dark Alliance, Dark Alliance being starting in our star system. So I was compelled to do a drawing of the Zene that you see in the book. Nice Zene. Oh, here we go. Now we're going to talk about ships, and this is the space station of Thor Han. Okay, that's the inside. Corridors, another corridor. There we go. That's a hallway with shops on this side, and terraces and plenty. That's interesting. And I'm going to take a question or two and go forward. Yes, also lots of wow. Okay. That's interesting, Hedy. Are the underground bases and underground cities made the same way on all the planets and with the same technology? No, because it depends which build them. Each race has its own way of building. The reptilians have their ways. They most of the time take other people's facilities. They like to do that. The Greys build their own. It's very advanced technology. And well, the Greys usually get slaves to build for them, of course. The Federation builds on the model of the Sirius B on planet Mortha. There's a way of building that has been innovated and is now used by the whole Federation, because we put all the knowledge in common in the Federation. So that has really taken off on Alpha Centauri a lot. And this is a Sirius B system originating technology that's used on all the outposts of the Federation. So in the Centauri systems, they have been like mad or crazy. They build everything with that. So anyway, it's a technology that and that's been passed on in the clothing and everything. So it's a way of when you're in a building, you can see outside. It can be transparent, but when you're outside, you can't see inside, and you can go through the walls when you have the right frequency key. There's no doors. You can just open. The wall opens and closes behind you. On the station, there are doors everywhere, but it's different. But the planetary structures, they are like this. That's very interesting. Very interesting way of building stuff. So I had to tell that. So what is Thor Han doing as a work? Do you know what he's doing? Yes, he's a fleet commander, but not only. He's more assigned to the station since I've started to work at passing on messages. So he has a part-time job. They are they have 3 shifts and they turn. And he alternates with fleet command, because the fleets have shifts by 3 as well. So he has a fleet job, commander job. He has a fleet. So he has free time, but he has also not too much now, and he has also this other third time job, which is mission coordinator. So what is his job? He receives mission orders from the High Command, which is a group. The High Commanders are a group of people who take military decisions. And so he receives the mission orders, and he has the task to organize them, to make it happen. So he's going to just prepare the fleets, equip the fleets, and choose the personnel and assign the personnel to the ships and the missions or whatever. It's a tough job. It's not a job you want to do, because it's basically sending people to war, and it doesn't really like it, but someone has to do it. So that's often I connect with him telepathically, and he's at his desk and he's doing all his dispatching mission stuff. And he was always a colleague with him who is a Ummit, and here is Thor Han at work with his Ummit friend. So it's all holographic screens, and that's the vision I have. That's the vision I have. There we go. It is just a holographic floating screen. That's another view inside of the station corridor. Here we go. That's in the command quarters. They had beamed on board, abducted an astronaut from the ISS. And I just connected in that moment, and I didn't know what was happening. So who is there in this picture? You have this astronaut here, and with all the gears, abducted from the ISS. This is people from the High Command. That's Thor Han, that's Ardana, and I don't know who these people are. There's a Ummit. There's I think it's maybe a Zene or Nimerther, and that's an Ahil, it's maybe Denethor, Commander Denethor. So what were they doing with this guy? They were trying to convince him not to do something, and I tell everything what it is about in the book. And I found the guy. I found the mission order of NASA on the NASA site. The name of the guy, there was his photo. I just published it, and you can compare. It's just mind blowing. That's Ardana, the High Commander of the station of Thor Han. That's her. And I'm not going to show you all the drawings because that's so much. And recreation center in the station, and another recreational center place. And there's so many happening. I'm not going to show you everything because I've seen also the children, the hybrids rescued. That's Myra dispatching the hybrid children to a location out of the star system. That's the kids. She explained to me everything about how they heal them, they rescue them, they heal them, they put them in medical pods, they make their muscles work, and they have a very heavy psychological follow-up. It's a very hard work. Now, people I met, Akvaru. Oh yes, that's him. Yay, Akvaru is in his portrait in the book. Yes, beautiful Akvaru. Never laughs, this guy. Sorry, ladies, I met his girlfriend. He has a girlfriend. She's an Ahel. She's great. It's a beautiful couple now. That's Jenhan, Thor Han's little brother. Jenhan is a terraformer. Yes, and he explains to me everything about terraforming in the book. Now, I told you that I met a mantis, and this mantis is working on the station with the science officer, Denethor, that I met. So Meisha, this mantis, Denethor has saved her life, and since then she doesn't leave him. So Denethor is a great guy, but he can't have a girlfriend because of this being who's really doesn't leave him. So it's a funny story, not for him. So that's then there are technical stuff. That's the device. One of the devices Thor Han uses to communicate with me, made me communicate with other people. It's a holographic device. There are also technical drawings about spaceships. There's everything you want to know about spaceships. It's in the book, everything with all these drawings. There's not blueprints because I needed to make sketches of the picture I was shown. So it's not blueprints, but it looks like. That's in a scout ship, in the corridor of a scout ship. That's Myra walking. Here we go. That's in the commands of a scout ship. That's Thor Han, myself, and Anax. Just the commands, and Anax. I love him so much. And that's me trying the holographic screens, just playing around. The ship wasn't moving, but I was just shown how it works. I explain how it works. That's touching the skin of a ship, and it was absolutely incredible because it's smooth and alive. So it's all explained how it's made and why it's like this. I also tried the smart suit, Pleiadian smart suit. I described all the process, and it's quite very impressive. Well, I liked it, but the first time you put it on, it's like it just compresses your body. It's like, I describe all that. There's main significant groups explained of who is who in this galaxy. You have all the humanoid groups. In the galaxy, simplified version. Then I made portraits I'm going to stop here, take a few questions, and see if you that's not really. Thank you for your appreciations. It's lovely. So when I described, there's a whole chapter about humanoid races. Who are the different humanoid races of the star system? So I made portraits of them. Oops. Sorry. Made you chance. I jumped as well. So I decided, because there was a lot of lads, to make only feminine, only females, and only women. Then it changes a bit of all these beautiful men. I did beautiful females, so you know everything. Who are these people, these races? Different drawings, all females. So that's a Kilitok. That's an Emerther, female. You see the difference? And that's a Kilitokert, for instance. There are brown people too. Who are they? Yes, and other ones. There are plenty. So you have. I'm not going to show them all. There's a whole list of them. They're quite beautiful ones. This one is beautiful. I love her. And Yeah, I love that too. I want to show you them all, but you have to watch, to look in the book. Okay, and that's an Anunnaki. She's gorgeous. Okay, and that's it. And I mean, that's it. So you have also at the start explaining how works being beamed up. The two ways, the way of being beamed like this. So you arrive as you are, if you're in pajamas, if you're naked, if you are in tracksuits, or you arrive as you arrive. That's not really allowed anymore now in times of war. So the method I use most is the light transfer resonance, where I'm beamed, the light being is beamed and re-densified at the destination point, and you re-densify as your body, but natural, like you always in your 30s look like in your 30s, and it's your original DNA. And if you have hair color or makeup or nails, or doesn't go with it because it doesn't belong to the body, it's just baby skin and natural hair color, and you look like 30s, and you will ask why all the deities look like in their 30s, because they do that. But it's a way, why? Because it's the healthiest age, and it's where your DNA is at its best, at its most completion, before it degenerates. So that's the stronger and most stable age to be reconstructed, beamed. So that's light transfer resonance. So I quite like it because I look younger upstairs. So yeah, it's funny. The first time I went, oh my God, where's my nail polish gone? Oh, I don't have makeup. But then you don't need, because you look good. Things like this. So it's very funny. And now I think we are approaching the time, and is there any, and now I'm going to go through the questions last time. So yes, so that's a good question, Angelica. Does your book have a register this time? I missed this in your first book. It's hard to find the different races. Okay. Yes, it has. And it's at the start of the book. It has a table of content, and you can find everything. And then for the previous book, A Gift from the Stars, I wrote it in 4 months, like in a hurry, and I didn't have the time to put the content in it, the table of content and register, as you call it. So what I did for this one, so for A Gift from We Will Never Let You Down, it's in it. But for this one, I didn't want to modify it because it would have been unfair for all these people who have already bought it. So I didn't touch it. But you go on my website, elenadanaan.org, and you go to the page of this book, and you find a downloadable PDF of the table of contents of the register. So for free, of course. So you go on my website, elenadanaan.org, and the Gift from the Stars page, and you open the page, and you will see, I think it's under the picture, download PDF, table of contents, something like that. So you can have it here for free. That's a good thing to know. Thank you for mentioning that. So now, listen, we're nearly there. Okay, that's a question I want to answer. How can we connect with Anax? You can't. Do not try, because it's very dangerous. I put a post in my community, YouTube community, yesterday, warning everyone not to try to contact extraterrestrials unless you have a personal contact with your personal guides or star family if you are not from here. Do not try to contact people with whom you have no link, because the air is filled with predators, AI, demons, lower astrals, and Do not try. And anyway, Anax does not contact people. He's very busy. And if you want to have fun, contact extraterrestrials, connect within with yourself, and then you will find a way. If you have a star family, if you're not from Earth, you will find a link to them within yourself. But otherwise, don't try it. It's safety measure. Okay? That's very, very important. Go in my community and read my post. It's very important. Now, you can, here we go. You find all what I've shown to you. It's detailed. My book, yes, Venusians are compatible with other races, especially the Tal. Val Thor's race is a Tal. Tal is a Lyran race. Here we go. So listen, we've done an hour and a half, and I'm very excited to introduce you to my new book. And it's been very hard work. And now I'm going to relax for a while. I have plenty of other projects that are hanging somewhere, and not now. So of course, there are other books coming after this one, but I'm going to have a break, do some works of illustrations, artistic for other people, spend more time upstairs because we've been a bit missing each other, and enjoy life a little bit, do more videos, and maybe in a month I'll start another project that I have. I have 2 projects hanging, but another one which I will not disclose for the moment because it's a safety precaution. But it will be a good one, something different, but still about ETs, and always about ETs. And that will be an interesting one, this one also. Listen, I thank you so much for your to be who you are, just just to be who you are, and the best you can do is to mind yourself. It's very difficult to hold on, and we're nearly there. So that's it. That's me introducing this book, releasing it into the world. And I wish you, everyone, yes, it's finished, it's over. I wish you all a lovely, lovely evening or day. And until we meet again, I wish you all the love of the universe. Be free, be proud, be brave, and be kind.